real quick disclaimer at the start of this video, the background gameplay is me at level 13 beating up a load of level 8s and 9s, and that is on purpose. It's to bolster my point of the video, I guess. So yeah, just before I keep comments saying, oh, you're a level 13 showing gameplay of you beating level 8 and you think you're good. I don't think I'm good. It's for the purpose of the video, but yeah, enjoy. What up, boys, and welcome to what's going to be a more sort of relaxed style video. Today, there's zero script, there's zero editing. I mean, there's some editing, but there's no, normal complex editing that I do. There's just gameplay and my voice. So there might be a few slip-ups here and there. I'm not the best at monologuing or just like speaking for an extended period of time. That was ironic. That was extremely ironic, and I'm going to keep that in the video because it's a little bit funny. But yeah, today we're going to be reviewing a video I did almost 2 years ago now, in January 2018. It's now December 2019, so in a month it's going to be 2 years, which was the ladder rant. An absolute classic video on this channel. It was essentially me just ranting about ladder. As the title quite specifically says, it's just me ranting about ladder. And now I'm ranting about how I ranted about the ladder. Let's move on from that. So, in that video, I gave 10 reasons as to why ladder was essentially broken, unplayable, useless, worthless, whatever adjective you want to use to describe that horrible game mode. And today, we're going to go through those 10 reasons I listed and judge whether they've been fixed, if they're a little bit better, or if they still need work. So, the first one was limited league progression. And essentially, I explained this as being, I play every single month, and I'm still not hitting new leagues. This one, I feel, is entirely dependent on your card levels, and sort of links to one that comes up pretty soon. Have they done anything to fix league progression? No. Is it the same as it was? Yes. Am I gonna struggle with it less now? Also yes, because my cards are higher and I can reach those new leagues. But my point was that it takes so long to get those card levels to reach those leagues. And it sort of links into this next point, is terrible rewards. Now this point was actually complaining about the old draft chests, and those are now gone. So I sort of have to judge it off of the trophy road, and I'm on the trophy road right now as I'm commentating this. And I don't really know how to judge it, because what is an average trophy road player, right? Do we just go all the way to the top of the trophy road and say you get all the rewards? Well, no, because there's only a certain amount of people that do that. So, do we go to the middle? Well, that's still, what is that? That's 5,300 trophies. I wouldn't say that's average, to be honest. That's quite a few trophies. I'm going to judge it off of 5,300 anyway, just because, you always have to aim higher with these things when you're being critical, just so your point still stands. At the moment, we can get 50 rare cards, 40 gems, 5,000 gold, maybe a giant chest, a legendary token, 5,000 gold, a legendary, lightning chest, 5,000 gold, an epic chest, an epic token, a certain amount of gold that I've already unlocked, so I can't tell you how much that is. And, yeah, that's it. So, it's quite a bit of gold. There are a few chests in there. But overall, I think those are improved rewards from the old draft chests. I forgot they were called for a second. I think they're improved, right? But my problem is, those still aren't the greatest reward. I'm not, incentivized to go and push for those rewards. They're sort of, like, I can miss out on them and be fine and see no difference in my account. So, I think they've definitely made an improvement, but it's still not enough of an improvement, so that's like a half mark there to Supercell. My next one was legendaries come out overpowered and cannot be leveled to be played on ladder. Now this one's a weird one, because we haven't had too many legendaries come out. I think we've maybe only had one in the past 12 months, and that was Fisherman, which came out, it didn't come out strong, it's buffed to be strong, so they've sort of fixed it by not bringing out legendaries, and the one they didn't come out strong, so this one is pretty much entirely fixed. The point coming off of this sort of related to it, which is maxing costs way too much money. It sort of links into how legendaries came out strong. You'd have to spend money on them and then get those maxed, then your account's maxed again and you can start pushing. Maxing still costs far too much money. You have the better options like challenges and stuff now, but we would have had those 2 years ago when I made the original video, so there's been no real improvement to maxing. You still have to spend pretty much the same amount to get, actually more, because there are more cards in the game now. So actually this point has sort of gotten worse, just because they brought out more cards and given us no more efficient ways to actually, like, max our accounts. You still just have to spend tens of thousands, which is a joke. Like, saying that out loud sounds like a joke. You have to spend tens of thousands to get a fully leveled account in a, like, any game. I was going to say in a mobile game, but no, in any game. That's insane. for even $10,000, which is less than a Clash Royale account at least used to cost. I don't know how much it is now because of challenge and stuff, but even that $10,000 mark, like, you can buy, that's like a deposit on an actual house. That's like a real car, and to get that insured, that's like an insane amount of money to spend on a max game account. Like, I don't get it, especially because maxing your account doesn't give you any monetized value back directly anyway. Of course, you can do stuff outside the game that'll get you it back, but in the game, all you can do is maybe get leaderboard, but then you still have to be skilled at the game, so it doesn't make too much sense. Of course, I understand Supercell have to make their money, like, somehow, and they obviously understand that the people who are willing to spend that $10,000+ are the people where they get, like, their most income, so I get it, but it's still stupid that pretty much none of us can even hope of having a max account. Or even if we can physically afford it, we're not going to do it because it is ridiculous, especially at this point in the game where the game sort of, I was going to say tailing off, but it's not. It's sort of declining very, very gradually overall, so there's no real monetary gain to maxing an account at all anymore. The next one sort of links into that again. They all sort of link. I was very good at making videos 2 years ago, not so much now. But the next one was the pay-to-win leaderboard, meaning that basically having a maxed account mattered more than your skill. You could be the most skilled player in the world. Listen, the most skilled player in the world. But if you have level 1 cards, you're getting nowhere near that leaderboard. If you have level 9 cards, nowhere near that leaderboard. So in game, we have no real way of showing, you know, who's the best player. Now, this one sort of fixes itself outside of the game, because what happens now is, you know, you make a name for yourself. If you're the best player in the game, you'll eventually get level 9 cards. You'll make a name for yourself at tournament standards, you know, during community tournaments. You'll get signed to CRL, and then you'll be able to, not afford, but there'll be people out there who are willing to sponsor your next account, which is actually against terms of service. Unless it's your account which they're paying for, but I think that's very rare. Not that, you know, I have had millions of maxed accounts, but I'm pretty sure you just log on to another account, which is account sharing, which is against terms of service. So really, Supercell just sort of ruined themselves by making their leaderboard pay to win, essentially. And that sounds bad because, of course, the people who are at the top, insanely skilled, all 200 of them would beat me. But that's not my point here. My point here is that if I was the most skilled player in the game, which I'm not, but if I was the most skilled player in the game and I didn't have, you know, max cards, I wouldn't be able to get on the leaderboard. And even though if I was the most skilled in the game, I could beat all 200 of them, I wouldn't be anywhere near the leaderboard. So the leaderboard sort of, it still doesn't mean anything, and that seems sort of, I don't know, it just seems sort of poor to me. Again, this next point links in, sorta. I'm going to say it links in because I want them all to link in now, because I've been looking for that trend. But this one is no free way to practice the game. This relates obviously to being a skilled player and having to spend money to get recognized. There's no free way to practice in this game. What can you do? Well, I'll go through all the game modes in my next point, but essentially, ladder isn't practice, because all you face on ladder are random ladder decks until you get maxed, and at that point, then, you know, you can go push for the top 200. But there's no way to actually practice within the game for free. The only free game mode is ladder and clan wars and party, but, you know, clan wars and party are very limited in the game mode to let you play, and ladder, of course, is level dependent, so there's no real free way to actually practice. Which links into my next point. Challenges are actually, to me, the only, like, fun 1v1 game mode. Party mode is just like a random assortment of game modes that, you know, you don't really get any real practice from. Clan War is only like 1 to 3 games per day, which is practice, but it's very, very limited. Ladder, as we discussed, needs levels. Challenges cost money. Tournaments are limited availability, like they're global tournaments, but they're only every so often. Friendlies only work if you have decent friends or clanmates online, and I know we get like free challenges every single, well, not every day, but we have a free challenge available every day. Those are both limited and sometimes random game modes. So these two link together. There's no real fun way to play the game. I mean, that is free, and there's no free way to practice. So both of those sort of just make, you know, improving at the game really, really difficult. My next point, unfortunately, doesn't link to absolutely anything at all. I just talked about the shortened overtime because, you know, on ladder, there used to be the 1 minute overtime with your 3-minute game, whereas in challenges, it was 3 minutes and 3 minutes. Now, it's all standardized. Everywhere is standardized, which is very, very nice. You got your 3 minutes of normal time, and then you got your 2 minutes of overtime, which is split into double and triple. Or are they? Yeah, I think they are. I'm not an expert on it still. I'm getting used to it. But yeah, this one has been totally fixed. We sort of didn't discuss how any of the others had been fixed because they hadn't been fixed. But this one has been fixed. They've now standardized all of the overtime instead of having ladder be different, which was really nice because in our next point, we're going to talk about dead archetypes. And what I mean by this is the rarity issues on ladder, meaning, you know, epics and legendaries are really hard to level, and the overtime contributed to some decks not being able to be played at all on ladder. Minor Poison was the biggest sufferance of this. You could not play that deck on ladder even if you were like the most skilled player at it, although that's maybe a little bit of a stretch. But essentially how that deck archetype worked was it would chip with its legendary minor and its epic poison. Chip didn't work because you only had 1 minute overtime, couldn't always guarantee to get that chip damage over time. Minor wouldn't work because it's a legendary, and as we discussed, those are incredibly hard to level, and poison wouldn't work because, again, really hard to level. So this led to too many draws, making ladder really frustrating, and sometimes not even enabling you to play your favorite deck because of levels and because of overtime. This one has sort of been fixed. Legendaries are now more available. There are more ways to get them than ever, especially with trade tokens made this one so much better, right? You can get rid of legendaries you're never going to use, max up your minor, that's fine. And of course the overtime has also been fixed. So now I'm going to talk about the solutions I suggested, whether they've been put into the game, and if we've had any even variants of them put into the game. So my first point was tournament standard ladder. This is nowhere near the game at all whatsoever. I still think this needs to be a thing because, of course, the leaderboards, as we discussed, are only for people with maxed accounts, and a tournament standard ladder would enable us to know who is the best player in the game. We don't know. If somebody's winning that, you know, tournament standard ladder every season consistently, keeps on pushing it, they've nailed it. Best player in the game. Big dub, right? But at the moment, we can't know because there might be a best player in the game who doesn't have a maxed account. And that's really sad to know that, no, well, not know, but to think that there's somebody out there who's insanely good at the game, but can't be picked up because they don't know about community events, and there's no tournament with standard way for them to prove themselves. Well, no tournament standard way to prove themselves within the game. And of course, I mentioned community events, but if they don't know about those, then they don't really have anything. My next point was buff to the chest cycle chest. I don't know if we've seen this. I don't study the chest cycle too much, but I know actually, I think they have improved the basic gold and silver chest. So I think they have done this one. My main point in the video was to buff gold and silver chests because, yeah, it's nice getting, you know, one magical chest every like 200 battles, but those gold and silver chests really needed love as well because they sort of just feel like filler, right? That you don't really open them and go, oh, what am I going to get in here? Hopefully it's something that I can use to upgrade my deck because it's such a minute amount. I think they did improve these in terms of gold and maybe cards as well. And with new arenas, they naturally upgrade. So yeah, I think they've actually fixed this a little bit. I think they could still use work because when you're almost maxed, or at least when you're a level 13, opening a silver chest doesn't really do anything to you because, again, there's so little in terms of, you know, cards and gold in there. It's not really entirely relevant. My next point was revamp tournaments, which they've done. We've nailed one, boys. Tournaments are now almost free to run, and global tournaments have been brought into the game. They're a free way to play the game and practice, although there's sometimes special game modes we can let that, you know, to the side. Normal tournaments are affordable. They're no longer, you know, 1,000 gems to get more than 10 people in them. So that's always nice. You can always make, you know, a nice cheap tournament for your clan to just do some practicing. You know, you can have it last, I think you can have it last a really long time still. So yeah, that one's just nice. And my final solution was overtime has to match that of challenges. Now, we discussed this. They've already done this. So looking at my 4 solutions there, tournament standard ladder, not achieved. Buff to chest cycle chests, half achieved. Revamp tournaments, achieved. Overtime to match challenges, also achieved. So we've got 2.5 out of 4 there. And really that's more than I expected when I, you know, thought of this video this morning. I was like, I know I suggested a load in that video, but they've probably actually done maybe one of them because I was thinking about how they've changed overtime. But yeah, they've actually done really well to what I thought would be the solution. And in my opinion, ladder has gotten a ton better. I honestly don't think you could argue that ladder isn't a ton better from where it was 2 years ago. It's improved a lot. And although they've only gotten 2.5 out of the 4 changes I wanted in 2 years, it's still better than none. And really, what I just want to, you know, give a side note to myself on is, I actually did really well in that video. Like, now, I would say I've had so much experience, like, in this Clash Royale world, to where I can make judgments on the game based on things that have happened in the past. But 2 years ago, the game had only been out 2 years. I'd only been doing YouTube not even a month, so I hadn't really looked in depth into the game at all. And I actually almost predicted a lot of the changes that they should make and have made to ladder, which personally is actually pretty insane to look back on. This video has been positive, so yeah, let me know what you think of this style of video, where I go back and I review a video I done. Maybe it's an opinion video, maybe it's a strategy video and like the meta's changed, but yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I find myself agreeing with myself, maybe, and then reviewing what Supercell have and haven't changed. So yeah, that's a fun one. Let me know what you think of this video. As I said before, if you do enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and all that. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. But apart from that, peace.